Hi guys, it's Jazz and Jamie, and welcome to Brand Creations, the pod. So today we're talking about perspective and how your perspective can change your life.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about that?
No, I think it's important. I think, when everything's going wrong, it's very easy to look at all the negatives.
Yeah.
When everything's going right, it's very easy to look at all the positives.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually, when everything's going wrong, that's when you need to look at the positives to drag yourself out of it.
Yeah.
Because shit's always going to go wrong, and that's all right. Like, that's fine. But there is a positive somewhere in there.
Every cloud.
Yeah, you've just got to find it.
Yeah.
And, it will mean that it will pull yourself out of that feeling a lot quicker.
Mm-hmm.
You can look at it and go, oh, this is so sad, this is so bad. Or you can look at it and go, this happened and this has meant this.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect, there we go.
Yeah.
You're out. That's it. You're sort of on your way. It's so important. With any situation, I think you have to have a positive.
Because you cannot, when you have a negative thing happen in your life, you solely look at that negative thing. However, you don't appreciate all the good things that happen to you. Say if you get broken up with, you just think about that, but you don't then think of or look at all your family and friends who are then there to support you and give you more support and love and all this stuff. You don't concentrate on that because it's like, oh, go away, I just want to be sad. You can be sad for a period of time, but you need to get out of that. Not saying that your feelings aren't valid, but it damages you the longer you stay in that situation.
Yeah, because it's up to you at the end of the day. Like with a breakup, you can sit in that breakup for 3 months, and because you're thinking about all the negatives, or you could sit in that breakup for a week.
Yeah.
It is all dependent on what you decide to think about it. If you think that it's the worst thing in the world that you've broken up and you don't know what to do and all of this sort of stuff, then you're going to be in it for months.
Yeah.
Whereas if you went, okay, this is the situation, and you're sad for a period of time, that's fine. But then it's like, right, what are the positives?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I've got more time now to work on myself. I've got that sort of whatever your sort of goals are and all of that. You clearly broke up for a reason, and I think obviously when you're in the situation it's harder, but you broke up for a reason. So actually there's the positive there.
Yeah.
Is you're out of that situation now.
Yeah.
Whether it's just you're just not right for each other.
Something happened.
Yeah. So there's the positive.
And also with a breakup in particular, when you break up, it's like, oh, what could have been, or all of this. You then think sad about it, and you think of the relationship normally in a negative way. You think of all the bad things that happen in your relationship, when you can in turn actually think of all the good things that happen in that relationship, what that relationship meant to you. Say it lasted 2 years, it wasn't a waste of time. You still had a really good time with that person for that 2 year period. It might have crumbled in the past 6 months, 2 months, a week, but you wouldn't have been with them for that prolonged amount of time if it wasn't good. So you can think of the relationship in a negative way, but that also is just to help you feel validated in your sadness, I feel.
Yeah.
Whereas you should think of all the good things that have come from that relationship, how much you've grown, how the different person you now are, which I feel like would help as well.
Yeah, but I think you have to. The problem is everything is gonna there's always gonna be something, even when life is going amazing, there's always gonna be a negative. And it's whether you can at the end of the day you're in control of it, because you're the one in your mind. If you want to think about when everything's going well, if you want to think about the one negative, you're gonna ruin yourself.
Yeah.
And if everything's going wrong and you're thinking about all the negatives, you're not gonna get yourself out of it.
Yeah.
Which means no one can help you. So you're trapping yourself into believing that this is how you've got to be.
Yeah.
When actually you haven't.
No.
Just because you're not physically showing that you're sad about a breakup or something, it doesn't mean you cared less.
Yeah.
It just means that you're coping with it, you're dealing with it, and you're moving on.
Yeah.
Which is what everyone has to do.
Yeah.
Because the world doesn't stop while you feel sad.
Yeah.
Or you need, or whatever the thing is, the world doesn't stop.
No.
No matter how bad you get. With me, I got really bad, everything carried on. and I either, you know, and it's one of those where I was very lucky. I managed to have the time that I needed and stuff like that. But everything still happened.
Yeah.
My kids still got older. They still needed me. Like, you know, I still had to be there. And if I sat there and was like, well, this is it for me now, like, I'm just going to be in this all day, then I would never have got myself out of it.
No.
You know, whereas, like, no, actually, I need to look at the positives. And that's the only thing that really gets you out of anything, you know? Because everyone's going to make mistakes. Everyone's going to do shit that's wrong and that. But it's how you cope with that setback, you know? And with business, stuff happens that's out of your control.
Yeah.
Like, for me, on a daily basis, like, with the team and everything like that, there's stuff that, like, the cleaners have done that I've not even organised that cleaner to go do that. They fuck up, I get the bollocking, which is fine, but it's like, if I then sat on that all day and was like, oh, I've had this complaint, blah, that's my day done.
Yeah.
But there's so many other people that need me, I just need to deal with that efficiently and move on.
It's like what you're saying about the Google Ads thing. Was it the Google Ads? And you were like annoyed at yourself because it's taking you this long to get to this point.
Yeah.
But at least you got here.
Yeah.
It could have taken you another 6 months. It could have... You were thinking of the negatives of how it's taking you this long. It wasn't even that long. Like, it wasn't even that long of a time. And you got here. And there's nothing you can do about the time that it took you to get here.
No.
You can't go back in time. You can't change anything.
No.
You just have to deal with what you're doing now, and it's going well.
Yeah.
So then you can think of the positives. Like, the Google Ads were going well, but when it first started doing well, you were thinking of the negatives because you were annoyed at yourself.
Yeah.
But then you quickly snapped out of that and was like, actually, there's no need to feel that way.
Yeah, because all I was doing was damaging myself. Like, and this is where I've built such a solid, like, team around me. Like, I walk home. Well, I didn't walk home. I drove home. I walked in the house and Chloe was like, "What's wrong?" And I told her, and she was like, "Right, you've got 2 minutes, then fuck off. Like, enough." Like, because there's nothing moping can do for it. And at the time, I was a bit like, "Hey," but it's the best thing because then 2 minutes later, I was out with it. You know, and that was right. Otherwise, if she didn't say that, I would have just sat in all night.
Yeah.
Then that's my evening.
Yeah.
Then I would have woken up the next day feeling like it, and you shouldn't start a day feeling like that. So then that's your whole day. You know. And then I walked in here the next day, and I was just chatting to Tara, and she said, "I don't want to hear it. You're boring.
Yeah.
Move on. You can't do anything now.
There's nothing you can do.
No, it's not going to bring those 2 months back. Move on."
And the not anger, but like the annoyance that you felt yourself, you could either keep that or you could change that into motivation.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, I'm annoyed at myself that I didn't do this earlier, but instead change that. Annoyance. What's the word for annoyed?
I don't know.
Change that.
That
feeling to motivation. Like, yes, whatever, but now I'm actually gonna do better. I'm going to motivate myself and do this how I want to do it.
And so many positives have come from it, like so many positives, but nothing would have come from it positive if I'd stayed in that negative. You know, it wasn't until I let go of it that I was like, oh wow, so many positives have come from it. But the problem is like, I mean, I don't normally let the negatives. That one just did. Yeah. And that one could have thrown me right off and stopped everything. Whereas now, actually, I flipped it around and I'm like, right, now we got to make those 2 months back. How? Yeah. You know, and as you say, use it to drive you. Yeah. And then, actually, you've just added more motivation to yourself. Yeah. You know, which is it. It's like, right, okay, I need to make those 2 months back. Because, yes, it didn't come to me then, but it has now. Yeah. So what can I do about it, you know? So it's like, it's all perspective. And it's all how... I think sometimes people get worried about like how they're going to be judged. Yeah. Sometimes sometimes it can be a bit like, oh, like you know what's happened, but you're worried what other people are going to say about it as well. Because sometimes people have got like negative points on it, and that can affect your perspective. Yeah. You know, so it's like, but that's when you have to be like strong enough to go, no. Yeah. I don't accept it. I don't take that in. You know, because it's not, as I say, I mean, there's not, like, I'm very lucky with who is around me. They know me and they know what to tell me and all that sort of stuff. But not everyone's got that person, those people, you know? but you have to be able to do it yourself.
And it's very easy for someone to say a negative thing or have their own opinion, and it makes your world come crashing down.
Yeah.
And then everything around you comes crashing down.
Yeah. But, I mean, like, the thing is, it's the same for anyone. Like, it's no different for me or you. Like, it's the fact that if we let negative stuff impact us, our day, like, there's a lot more than just you affected.
Yeah. Because if I'm upset or annoyed or whatever about something, it will then affect my day-to-day life. I might not eat, which will then mean I'm like more tired or stuff like this, and it might affect my work and my relationship with my friends and family. It's like a
domino effect.
That's the one. It is, but no one can tell you anything that's going to make you feel better. No one can. Everyone can say nice things, positive things, but it doesn't help or it doesn't work until you yourself accept it and acknowledge it. Then all the things that people said a month ago will be like, oh yeah, they were right. But that won't happen until there's that click in yourself.
Yeah. Until
you want to be like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm sick of feeling this way. I need to look at the brighter side. And you're the only person who can do that.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's how... It depends on... Like, I do think there is some circumstances where people can't get out of it, like their environment, as say the people around them, that sort of thing. If they're surrounded by very negative people, like, is it misery loves company or something, like something like that? Like so. It's something like that, you know, like negative people tend to find negative people, and then why are you going to change it? Because you're all sitting in the same boat.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like you have to look at that. When you do finally get out of it, you need to reflect on it and be open enough to say, wow, like, I went to this person and actually they just chimed in with, yes, how much of a fucking idiot I was.
Yeah.
Well, then are they the most helpful people in the world?
No.
You know, because all they've done is just validate that that yes, you made a mistake and that's it, you're wrong and you've got to feel this way. You know, so like you have, I think once you get out of it, there has to be a reflection period.
Yeah.
You know, before you do anything. It's like, well, okay, how did I get through it? Because then you'll be better prepared for next time as well.
Yeah.
Because it's going to happen again.
Yeah, it's going to happen all the time.
Yeah. You know, like you don't know when it's going to happen. That's the other thing, and that's why a lot of people it knocks, because they're so surprised. Like, you have the surprise element as well. But that's why the better you can be prepared for it. I'm not saying you have to walk around like something's going to go wrong today, but just know how you're going to manage it and how you're going to cope with it will then help.
There's also so many aspects that could do it. Like, your relation, like, it can come from anywhere. It can come from, like, romantic relationships, like, family, friends, work, like, physical health and all of that stuff. It can hit you from any direction. That it is, like, scary if you think about it, but once you've got through it once, you can get through it again. You'll always find a way through something if you're prepared and know what's to come.
Yeah, I don't really think there's many situations that you can't get through and get past.
No.
Like, obviously every situation has, like, different
challenges.
Yeah, but again, there's a solution to everything, you know, and there's a way of getting out of everything.
It may not be a nice solution. It may mean that you have to do something that you don't actually want to do. But at the end of the day, you might have to do it, and it might make you feel better, and your situation might be nicer, and la-da-da. Yeah. Like, the solution to things aren't always a good thing. Like, if you're in a toxic relationship, well, you need to get out of that, but you don't want to. Yeah. Stuff like that, a friendship, whatever. You need to do that, but you don't want to.
Yeah. A job. Yeah. You know, you're in a job you don't like, but you've got the stability from that job. Say, you know, you know what you're going to be earning and stuff like that, and I get that, and that's fine, but you're constantly going to feel the same way. Yeah. If you don't change it. Yeah. You know, it will seem scary to change it, but that's normally when you get, like, rewarded the most, is when you take, like, the biggest risks.
And you kind of have to find comfort in the fact, in change. Yeah. Nothing stays the same, ever. And that's, again, scary.
Mm.
But you have to be comfortable with the fact that life is forever changing. Nothing stands still. And in all elements of your life, something will change. It does change.
Mm.
Look, from even this year, we're at the end of the year, the amount of stuff that have probably changed for every single person in this office is drastic. They didn't know that was going to happen, but you have to be comfortable in that. Because otherwise you don't progress.
And I think the damage that a lot of people are being told now is that they should be comfortable with their life. And like, I find that if you're not taking risks and you are just floating through life, that's when the negative stuff creeps in. Like, I actually think I'm a hell of a lot more comfortable when I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, give me a shit show to sort out.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
When everything's going right, I'm like,
something's odd.
Yeah,
something's off here.
Yeah. So it's like you gotta be used to being uncomfortable, and then as I say, I know exactly how I cope with like that sort of negative situations now, and I know what I need to do to get out of it, and I don't now sit on anything. I don't dwell on anything. You know, it doesn't take up a lot of my time. It's just it happens. It's not ideal. You move on.
You need to protect your peace.
Exactly, protect your peace. Yeah. There's too much negativity.
Don't let outside things affect your own inner peace.
Yeah. There is way too much negativity in this world, and that's the thing, and it is, and it's a scary world. But not everything. You don't need to take everything on.
No.
Like, it's not your responsibility to take that weight as well. You know, like, we can all care about what's going on without taking the stress of it.
Yeah.
You know, because, and especially if you know, like, normally the people that try to take all the stress on in the world is the ones that don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no, actually, you're the one that needs to be slowing everything down and focusing on yourself first.
Yeah.
Before you then grow into then taking on everyone else's shit.
Yeah.
You know, because you're not qualified for that role.
No.
Because all you're doing is putting your shit down to deal with their shit, but it's still in the background every day.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, let's slow down for a minute.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it'll come. But at the end of the day, all of this is affected by your perspective. You know.
You could have a shit life and be grateful for it, or you could have an amazing life and feel shit.
But then is it a shit life? Like, you might not have money, but what have you got? You've got life.
Yeah.
You know, you've got freedom. You've got like, you're
living.
Yeah, you're living. You know, so like, yes, okay, don't get me wrong. There's people that their lives aren't great, especially when you compare them to other people, but they've got life. There's a lot of people that haven't got that. You know, there's a lot of people that lost that way too early or whatever. And it's like, so you've got that. That's a positive. If you can't, like, there's always, as I say, there's always a positive. Like, if you can't find something physical, strip it straight back to you.
Yeah.
You're still here.
Yeah.
That's step one.
Yeah.
You know, you've got one more step than a lot of people have got. So then you just got to go with that.
You have to be grateful for what you got.
Yeah.
Yes, that. And it's the whole thing of comparing. Yes, this person might be driving around a Lamborghini, but it doesn't mean their life is any better than mine, because they might not be grateful for that. They might not value their life as much as I do. Yes, I don't have a Lamborghini, but I like my life a lot. I'm not rich, nothing, but I appreciate what I have. I appreciate what I've done. I'm grateful for everything that's happened in my life, because even if shit things have happened in my life, it's got me to this point. It's the whole thing of having no regrets. You shouldn't have any regrets, because at the end of the day you wouldn't be where you are if you changed that. Who knows? You could be in a better situation, but you could be in a worse one. You just need to be grateful for that. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I mean, like, when everything finishes anyway, you're in a box the same way that everyone else is in a box. You know, like, it doesn't make a difference. No. Like, and the thing that I find important, like, the thing that I think about is, like, when I'm older and, like, it's nearer my time, I want to be spending my time, that's when I want to be spending it with my family, with my kids, you know, like, because they're the ones important to me. Yes, right now, do I want a Lamborghini? I wouldn't say no. But at the end of the day, when I'm about to die, do I want to be like, I want to talk to my kids, or, oh, just one last drive, sorry kids, fuck off. Like, you don't have that.
No.
You know, like all of that shit comes and goes.
Yeah.
Like, but your family doesn't.
No.
You know, and I think that's what. So you've got, and there's a lot of people that haven't got their family.
Exactly.
But again, if you've not got that, you've got yourself.
Yeah.
That's block one.
You've got friends that are probably the same as family.
Yeah.
There's always...
If you've got no one, then you're probably a bad person and you need to look at that. But
True. At the end of the day, everyone's always going to have... There's always going to be someone better off than you, and there's always going to be someone worse off than you.
Mm-hmm.
You're never going to be the best of everyone. You're never going to be the worst. And you always have to look at that. You have to look at what you have, which other people probably want. People probably want to have little things. I have a laptop. Probably people out there being like, oh, I want a laptop so bad. I've got one. Little things in your life, fresh, like literally the basic necessities to live. That should be like the groundwork for you appreciating life.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Well, is that it?
Drop it like it's hot.
Okay, so if you have any opinions you want to share, then comment them, leave a like, do all that good stuff. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hope to see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.